everyone, and welcome to a review of Need for Speed Heat. This is one of the many Need for Speed games that you can find on Game Pass or elsewhere, and for me, I really enjoyed the classic Need for Speed Most Wanted, which I played on GameCube, and this was like in the mid 2000s, and Need for Speed Underground 2 as well. And if you are a fan of those games, or maybe you just want to try a different kind of a modern Need for Speed experience, I think you'll really like this game. So there are a few important things to know about this game before you play it, and I'm going to cover the most important thing later on. But basically, I almost uninstalled this game because I felt like the cars, the handling, the way they feel, the way they drive, you can't race with that. It just was terrible, and my friend had liked this game and recommended it, and I thought, I'll try it out. But because of that, I was just like, ugh, I uninstalled it. But I thankfully went into the menus and I found the control layout, and I thought, okay, what can I put here, put there? I didn't see anything that clearly would tell me. So then I just started pushing buttons on the controller, and then I found the live tuning, which is the thing that you need. Um, and I'll show you how that works later on. But let's see what we have here. First thing to go over is the performance. And within these different parts, you have stock, sport, pro, pro plus, super, super plus, etc., all the way up to ultimate. And that will allow you to increase the performance of your car. And also, as you see at the left hand side of the screen, there's this little diagram that says race, drift, off-road, and road. Now that will affect how your car accelerates and handles on different surfaces. If you want it to drift a little bit, I like it when a car has a little bit of that, because there's times when you do need to take a corner quickly, and we're normally just racing around it or decelerating around it. That would be the best, but sometimes, especially at the higher end of the game, speeds and acceleration, you probably need to have a little slide in your car. But I'll show you this little white icon here in the bottom left of that diagram near the word road and race. It'll move around based on the parts that you have. Now don't simply think the best parts will give you the greatest numbers or the greatest results. Sometimes you do want to actually keep just a basic part like this pro part here, because it only has one icon, where these other ones have two icons at the bottom. And you can tailor your car how you like it to handle and work based on that. There isn't really a wrong answer, but just know what it is that your car will do, and if you're curious about it, just test it out. Just drive it around and see if you like how it works. So I have my car set up here a specific way. Another thing is the transmission speeds. They'll give you different numbers and statistics up top, but ultimately you really just have to drive your car and see if you like the way it handles. And the most important thing about the engine is that you can push Y and swap engines. And they give you various ones over here, and at the right of the screen it tells you what the potential is, but that changes based on your level of parts, how quality they are, such as ultra or epic or performance. And I personally do not think the most expensive engine is the best engine. That's just me. I don't think anyone should play this game just assuming that. As you can see here, I put a rotary engine inside of this Lotus Exige because I like the rotary engine personally. I feel like it puts out a good amount of torque, and that's what I'm focused on. But again, this isn't like real world physics necessarily, but it does have good physics. And let's see, those are I think the most important things to cover here. And within the garage, you have a lot of customization options, really good paint options. It's not quite as in-depth as Forza, but you can do the vinyl editor. You have some really cool things, like you can change the color of your tire smoke for your car. You know, you have underglow. Again, if you're a fan of underground too. Um, many different options there. And you can customize the exhaust sound, stuff like that. So they have lots of cool stuff if you're into that. But if you're like, I just want to race, I just all about the cars, then there's an important thing you need to know about what if you want to sell a car. If you go to this menu where it says swap car, normally you'd think like, well, that's where I would go to sell the car because it shows you your entire lineup of cars. But it's really not. If you push A and you select a car, well, like how do I sell it? Where do I go? You actually have to push the left bumper at the top or upper left hand side of the screen, and it goes over to Showcase. Now within Showcase, you know, you'll go and press A on the car to select. But instead of it automatically putting it to where you can customize it and then drive it out, you can see this option where it says sell car. And this says it'll just sell the car for its own base price, but all the performance parts on it, like a special engine or transmission, and the visual parts that you bought for it, the visual parts will be sold, but the performance parts will be returned to your inventory. So if you have a special engine or special transmission, don't worry about accidentally losing it. You just go to the dealership, buy the car again, and you fix it up again. So that's how that works. That's important to know. So yeah, you can do it like that, but I'm going to go back to my favorite car overall. It's the Lotus Exige. Like it's small, nimble. I like putting high torque acceleration on it, as you can see where it's set up. And let's go talk about the next important thing, day and night. Basically, day, you earn your money toward buying newer cars and parts. At nighttime, you earn rep, which is like your experience points and leveling up. That'll allow you to progress through the story and unlock new race tracks around the city. Now, at nighttime, they tell you, if you get arrested, you can lose all of your progress, and the police will take a lot of your money. And when you're just starting off in the game, I would say kind of like don't do a whole lot of night races yet until you kind of, you know, get the feeling of the total game, because it can be very frustrating if you go straight from day racing into night racing and you get arrested or busted or whatever. You will lose a lot of your progress and a certain percentage of your money, but I'll show you how to get around this. So I would select day. You're going to go out into the main racing to earn a lot of money. You know, say you earn 50,000. You know, if you're just starting off, that's a lot in the game. But then you don't want to lose it all. So how do you save your game? Like how do you know, there's no push start, save your game file. Like in usual games, it has a kind of an unusual mechanic that you push the left menu button on your controller. I don't know, it should be select, but they've changed it. And you'll actually push left stick, go to night. This will change it into night mode. And instead of racing and earning rep like it says you do, you'll actually just go straight to the garage. Now again, pretend you've earned money, you don't want to lose it. You found some billboards, you found some hidden things, some little paint graphics, unlockables. You don't want to lose it. You'll push right bumper to go back into your garage. And this is how you actually save the progression of your game. If you have special missions you have to do and you do just one out of the 3 things towards that mission, save it. And then go out again at night and try to do the second one. As soon as you get that one done, save it. Because again, you don't want to lose all that progress. So this is a very important thing to remember on how these game mechanics work. You can just skip all this. So the next important thing that I have to talk about before we conclude this video is back out in the daytime. Now this is the reason I was going to uninstall this game, because the cars handled so poorly. It was too twitchy, too responsive. You know, I couldn't stand it. And to me, controls are the most important thing in a game. If it doesn't feel right, you can't control it, there's no use playing it. So when I accidentally was pushing buttons, I found out this live tuning, and I thought, what is that? And then it was like, oh, okay, this is how you make the car drive the way you want it to drive. And I recommend doing this as soon as possible when you start the game. So you'll push right on the D-pad, and then you'll use the D-pad to navigate. You go down to live tuning, push right on the D-pad a second time. Now you would think again you're using the D-pad, but you're not. All of a sudden you're using the right thumbstick. So here you can change the sensitivity of your vehicle, how responsive the steering is, the downforce. That does actually play a role, not just the speed, but how the car actually handles and drives. Traction control by default is off for some reason. I don't know why. So you probably want to turn that on. And I like my drift style on brake. By default, it's on accelerator. But that's very important to remember your live tuning, right on the D-pad, then down on the D-pad, then right on the D-pad again. That's vital for enjoying this game. And briefly, just to wrap it up, I really like this game. There's some odd things in the writing for the police officers and maybe some of the characters, but like sometimes it's kind of just a quirky, funny, casual experience for the dialogue that you can turn off if you don't want it. And other times, like for the police officers and some characters, it's like overly aggressive and profane, and it's just a really weird mix because sometimes it's very comical, it's kind of more lighthearted, and you're like, okay, that's funny. They say some funny things. And other times it's just like way intense, and it's just kind of like, what are we doing here with the writing and the storyline of just mainly the police dialogue. But the overall storyline is really fun. They do have special missions and stuff like that. Um, I highly recommend it if you like the classic Need for Speed games and you thought maybe you don't want your Need for Speed game to be like other racing games, like it should be kind of what it used to be. Oh yeah, and another thing, the police in the daytime, they will not bother you. It doesn't, I mean, unless you like slam into them, but just generally speaking, so that's a good thing about this game. Like one of my friends, he just says, I want to race in the game. That's all I want to do. Um, he doesn't really want to do the cop chases, but it's hard because you have to earn rep to level up to progress. But that's just something to keep in mind. And there's these other things you can do to earn rep too, but it's really small increments. And if you are out at nighttime, the cops sometimes spawn behind you, they pop in and stuff like that, and it can be really annoying. I'm sure that in the game design it thought like, well, it's unexpected and it's exciting and it's thrilling or whatever, but it can just be, a bit ridiculous. Um, but the important thing to do if that happens is that, see how the headlights are on here? If you hold down the X button and you hold down the left bumper at the same time, it turns off the engine, turns off your headlights. This is like your car going into stealth mode. And the game is programmed to know like, oh, you've done this, the cops will not spawn in on you as much, or they'll have a harder time finding you. And if you have to quickly get out of there, you can hold either left trigger to accelerate or right trigger to accelerate. It'll automatically turn the engine on and you'll be good to go. And it rains a lot in this game. Your car has a health bar. It can be destroyed ultimately, more so when you're like in a police chase. But yeah, if you just totally like just crash your car, it's not like Burnout or older games. Like it's not really going to destroy your car. You don't have to pay to fix it up necessarily. Any gas station will automatically repair your car. You can find those throughout the world, and they'll be on your map. They'll also refuel your nitrous when you're going around. But yeah, overall it's a very enjoyable game. Now with the live tuning is proper, I really like it. I just kept playing it and playing it. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, keep those points in mind. Give it a try. If you're looking for something else, a different, better, in my opinion, Need for Speed experience. And join us next time in our next video. We'll be covering another game available through Game Pass as well as other sources. It'll be Torchlight 3. I'm gonna get into that. So join us again that time, and thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a good day. Bye.